Hello and welcome to another episode of Geared Toward Gear. My name is Sean and I am so glad you're here because today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite tools. It is a pair of pliers, which may seem a little odd for like EDC, but I think they're fantastic. There's two different types that we'll talk about from the same company, and this company is called, and this is how it's pronounced, Knipex. You actually really pronounce that K, Knipex. Most people just call them Knipex. But they are German-made, super high-quality tools. I own a number of Knipex products. I even just said it wrong. We can call it Knipex. That's fine. I own a number of Knipex brand products. The quality is second to none. And these particular tools, I think, make fantastic EDC options, whether it's on your person or in a like a pocket slip, EDC bag, a vehicle maintenance kit, something like that. I just think they're fantastic. So let's talk about them. And you may be wondering, Sean, do you really have these things in like dedicated pouches? And the answer to that is a resounding hell yes. So I got this idea. It's silly, really. So here's one of the tools we'll talk about, which is called the Cobra Plier. And this is another one called the Pliers Wrench. But I had this idea, I had this sheath actually, and I kind of modified it to test it to see if it would work with this particular pair of pliers, and it did. And so I reached out to my buddy Ryan at RG2 Leatherworks, who just does fantastic stuff. And I said, can you make me a sheath? I gave him the exact specifications. I said, red thread, and he made it, and it couldn't be more of a perfect fit. Just perfect. And so I was carrying these around in this pocket sheath. Same thing with these. And then I thought, let's take this to the next level, because no one out there is doing Kydex for pliers. No one's that crazy. But I thought, how cool would it be to have a pocket Kydex sheath for a pair of pliers? And so I reached out to my buddy Rodney. His son Ryan runs Pearson Custom Knives. Great people, great company, and they do Kydex for their knives. And so I said, hey, if I send you a pair of these pliers, do you think you could throw something together? And he's like, well, we can sure as hell find out. And so I did, and they did. And so I got this sweet pocket Kydex sheath. There's no clip, it's just designed to be carried in the pocket, and it is perfect. Check this out. So same tool, the Cobra Pliers, and they fit just perfectly. Like the retention is fantastic. You push the little button just to get it kind of started, and they just pop in, and like very, very little rattle, super secure. Couldn't be more happy. I just think it's the bee's knees. So let's get rid of the sheaths for now and talk about the tools. Although I think the different carry options are almost as cool as the tools themselves. So these two are identical, so we'll get rid of one. This is the Cobra Plier, and I have these in like normal sizes, like 7 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches in my garage, just as part of my kind of toolkit. But this is a 5-inch model, or 125 millimeters. That is your model number right there. And this thing is super tiny. Here's a Benchmade bug out for comparison. Right? These are very small. However, they are very capable in that it has a pretty substantial jaw capacity. And so you see Knipex Cobra, made in Germany. Again, crazy high quality. But what's super cool about these is they're pretty thin, so you can get into some tight spaces. But the mechanism that these work on is the same as the plier wrench, which we'll talk about in a second. Is a push button, and it has each one of those teeth, right, or grooves, is a different position that you can stop at, right? And so a standard like water pump plier, channel lock, something like that, an adjustable wrench or adjustable pliers rather, typically have like maybe 4 or 5 grooves that you can kind of finagle it into, but this has like 15. So you can go from, super small to grip something like a 1/4-inch hex bit, right, with plenty of torque, all the way up to a jaw capacity of, let's get a accurate measurement on this, a full 2 inches of jaw capacity, which I was going to use this as an example, but that's way bigger, obviously. So you can imagine, you know, when it's fully open, 2 inches. When it's closed, we're probably looking at closer to like 1.25 inches. So for how small and compact and kind of pocket friendly these are, they're actually quite capable. What I use these for the most when I am carrying them on my person is emergency repairs of my kids' toys. That's a thing that I've learned as a dad. Like, you have to fix toys and different things that have moving parts, so I'm always fixing something. And it's fun because my son will be next to me with his toy toolkit, kind of fixing along with me. But I use it a lot for that. I've also used it a couple times for like electronics, like if you have to screw in I don't even know what the type of cable is, but it's the type of cable that goes into a computer. It has the 2 little twisties on the side that sometimes are a total pain to crank down, so I've used it for that. But they're a lot of fun. They're super functional. The quality is unbelievable, and you can see the mechanism here. When you push this button, this little plunger here rises, which allows it to move freely along this track, which you can lubricate every so often if you need to. But they're just awesome. So that is the Cobra Plier. The other cool thing about these is that they're self-locking, in that once you kind of apply pressure to something, if you apply downward force, and I'll see if I can demonstrate this on my finger. Let me use this this tool. This is super cool. So if you put it on something and apply downward force on just one handle, let me see if I can do this without breaking something. Let me go one size bigger. Bear with me here. Okay. So with one handle, if I push down, it's self-locking. These aren't going anywhere, right? Because I'm pushing down on this handle, which is causing that bottom jaw to want to push up on the bottom of the knife. So once it's on something, it's just amazing the grip you can get. It is unbelievable. So 5-inch Knipex Cobra Pliers, and you can also get these in a 6-inch, 7-inch, 10-inch, and I think 12-inch. But the 5-inch for me, for EDC, is right where it is at. Side note, this little leather slip I have decided is called the nip slip, since it carries a Knipex tool, and it is a slip. It is forever the nip slip. So if you have a pair of Knipex pliers and you want a pocket slip for it made out of leather, hit up my buddy Ryan at RG2 Leatherworks. His info is in the description of every video that I post, and hit him up and say you want a nip slip, and he'll take care of you. So that is the Cobra Pliers. Then we've got the Pliers Wrench. Exact same concept. They look a little different, obviously. This has I don't even know, some sort of chrome vanadium sort of satin finish on it, but you can see Knipex, made in Germany, and again 125 millimeters or 5 inches. There is your model number, and concept is exactly the same. You got a push button, it slides. The difference is this is an adjustable wrench, right? As opposed to adjustable pliers, this is a wrench, just like you would use a crescent wrench or any other adjustable wrench. The jaws remain parallel at all times, which is awesome, even when you are cranking down on something. So you see that, how the jaws always stay parallel. Super cool feature with this little kind of cam action there. Just a really well thought out design. Again, the quality is second to none, and they're super handy as far as their size. I just love these things. And I used this recently, actually. I was working on a knife. It was not a Benchmade bug out, but it was something similar. And actually, you know what it was? It was this. It was this Benchmade Mini Freak, and I was having a problem with the barrel spacer, and I needed to hold the barrel spacer super tight so that I could screw in one of these torque screws from the other side. And I was like, how am I going to hold that thing tight enough? Well, again, just like with the Cobra Pliers, look how low profile and thin the jaws are. Again, this is a very small tool, but because of that, it can get into some confined spaces, which is fantastic. So what I did is I literally took a Band-Aid, I wrapped a Band-Aid around this just to give it a little padding. And it fits between the scales of a small knife, and I was able to crank down because it was padded and take my Torx driver and bump, 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 done. So it really is kind of amazing the uses you can find for something like this once you have it around. You know, just like anything else, it's like if you don't have it, then you may not see a use for it. Once you have it, you start realizing, hey, this would be a good job for X, Y, or Z tool. And I think the Knipex brand 5-inch tools specifically are just really good options for EDC, whether again on your person or in some sort of a kit. These go for between like $20 and $30 a pair, which is not cheap, but these will last you your lifetime. The quality is outstanding, just second to none. So big fan of Knipex, big fan of German tools in general. I'm kind of a tool junkie, but yeah, I just want to share those with you because I think they're super, super cool. I like them. I use them. I like them so much that I had sheaths made for them. So yeah, that's it. Knipex Cobra Pliers and Knipex Pliers Wrench. You can find them on Amazon. Where I have purchased a lot of my Knipex tools, or any German brand tools for that matter, is from KC Tool. It's a company based in Kansas City, and they specialize in tools from Europe, specifically Germany, and they have a great selection, amazing prices. That's where I buy all of my bits that I use for my knife maintenance kit. So like my really high quality bits from Weha, I buy these from KC Tool in bulk. So you can find these from KC Tool or on Amazon. So that's it. Knipex Cobra Pliers, Knipex Pliers Wrench. Get yours today if you want to, or not. Doesn't matter to me. And if you want a kick-ass leather pocket sheath, or if you want to be even crazier and get some custom Kydex made for your pliers and be a total loser like me, then you can do that too. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon.